Hey everyone, welcome today. My name is Austin Muse, and we are here in beautiful Santa Monica, California, with the I-Ching and I-Ching Academy. So, just to give you a little background, our teacher, Dr. Baolin Wu, has been teaching the I-Ching and I-Ching Academy for a little over 2 years now, I believe. And basically, it's to enhance his local students' knowledge of these seemingly sometimes esoteric, sometimes more medical derived topics. A lot of that has encapsulated things revolving around traditional Chinese medicine, but overall, the studies are all geared towards the I-Ching. For those of you who don't know, the I-Ching is an ancient esoteric system of fortune telling. So, not to get too much into that, that's not the focus of the video, but that just gives you a little background on who we are, what we do, why we do it, etc., etc. So, to get into things in the beginning, it's important to realize that the information that we're going to go over today has been passed down for hundreds, in some cases thousands of years, to where it's come to today. And so a lot of these things represent principles that are not as common in society today as they maybe once were in the past. But at certain times in human development or human history, so to speak, a lot of these concepts have been very, very prevalent. It's just like anything. There's certain things that are kind of fad-like in society or in vogue, and then certain things fall out of vogue. But the monastery, White Cloud Monastery, has always been kind of a record keeper of sorts in terms of trying to catalog the most important things that they feel were important for human cultural development, and not only medicine, but theologically and in many other senses as well. So it's you can look at it as like a giant college. That's with many different interdisciplinary subject matters that are present within the greater scope of the pantheon of the texts and the teachings and things like that. So it is very, very comprehensive, and so people like Dr. Wu try and break it up into bite-sized segments so that it's easily understood, not only by his students but also by the general population at large. In times past, they generally wouldn't teach these types of things to the outside public, but obviously we're just in a new area, and a core principle of Taoism is go with the flow. So here we are today, trying to elucidate some of these arcane topics, if you will. So I thought today we would start out with just a very, very basic Qigong pose. This is good for beginners and advanced practitioners alike. It's called John Duong pose, and the rough translation is basically tree pose. And so what you're going to do is kind of mimic the posture of a tree, if you were. So what you want to do is you want to have your hands out in front of you like I'm doing here. They need to be a comfortable distance to where you can kind of like have them stationed there without too much discomfort. And then you want to relax your shoulders. Your shoulders should be totally loose. There should be no tension in the shoulders. And you want to spread your fingers out as wide as you can possibly get them. If you feel like you're a very athletic type of person, you might want to put your hands out a little bit further. If you feel very strained by that, you might want to have your hands a little bit closer. But the basic concept is to have them at chest level. You also want to pigeon toe your feet. Pigeon toeing the feet is also part of the form. And then you just want your knees kind of relaxed. And so with this form, you can keep your eyes open or keep them closed. It doesn't specifically matter, but generally recommended, it's better to keep them, as a general recommendation, it's better to keep them closed. So in essence, this is just a very, very basic Qigong form that allows you to absorb energy from your surroundings, wherever those might be. So it's also good to do this outside instead of indoors, where there is more general qi flow in most cases than indoor settings. But it's perfectly fine to do this indoors. You can also do this outside facing the moon or facing your birth direction. So the birth direction is determined by the seasons. So if you were born in the Chinese spring season, which which starts at the Chinese New Year, going up until May-ish. You're looking at the eastern direction. Summertime, you'd be looking at south. Fall, you'd be looking at west, and wintertime, you'd be facing north. So those are the just general practitioner's rules for doing this practice. This practice can last as long as you like. I would say, for a beginner, a good length of time would be 5, 10, 20 minutes, somewhere in that range. As you go along, I guess a general recommendation for this would be 30 minutes to an hour. That's more advanced intermediate. Obviously, there might be people concerned that, like, oh my God, I can't hold my arms up for that long. But really, it actually becomes quite easy to do after a while. You just build up that specific kind of endurance to the point where you can totally kind of be sitting here for hours and hours and you wouldn't really feel it, so to speak. So it seems crazy, but that does happen over the course of weeks and months as you do this type of practice. So that's just a brief intro to this in the class. Thank you guys so much, and I'll check you in the next video.